So yeah, we're just getting started with setting up React Native. So we're on the environment setup page. Click on the React Native CLI quick start for the development OS. So this is like, what computer are you using? A Mac OS, and your target OS, we're going to be doing iOS today. So you do need a Mac to develop like iOS mobile devices, because you need Xcode. So that would be a requirement, which we all have Macs. So yeah, but Android, you on a Mac, you'll be able to develop Androids, because you can download these stuff with a Mac. So yeah, see, if I try to do Windows and then iOS, it's going to say a Mac is required to build projects with native code for iOS. All right. So, and these are going to be the steps we're going to follow. So we already have Node installed. So, and I can select these out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install Watchman. So go ahead and open up iTerm, and you can run this command anywhere. But you do need to have, like, we need Xcode installed. So should be able to do a spotlight search Xcode. This is, none of this is gonna work. I mean, this will work. You can like install this stuff, but you won't be able to get your iPhone running if you don't have Xcode. So this might take a second. Just want to make sure nothing has changed. React. Okay. So while that's running, let's go ahead. So open up Xcode. And then we want to make sure we have the command line tools installed. So to do that, you're going to go to Xcode, go to the preferences, go to locations, and then make sure something's selected here. So let me show you what that is. So, oh, did I close Xcode? Xcode. So I'm just going to go Xcode, preferences, or you could do a command comma, but go to the Xcode in the left, preferences, go to this locations. Yeah, just make sure there's something selected there. I think, I think that should just be there.
That's what mine says.
It's not so important that the numbers match. You just need something there. Cool. So there is that. The next thing we're going to do after this one finishes. What do we want?
Oh, mine got an error.
When you selected this?
No. In console or in the terminal.
Oh, on this one.
Yeah.
The brew install Watchman?
Yeah. It started going for a while, and then it got an error that Python 3.10 says the bottle needs the Apple command line tools to be installed. So maybe I just don't have the tools installed.
It says you don't have command line tools installed.
Yeah, I have Xcode, but it's an issue with the tools.
Do you want to, while that's running, do you want to share your screen? It's like, or Slack me that error or something?
Yeah, it gave me a code to run to install the tools. So.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just install. This has happened to me before.
Did it give you the Xcode select -- install?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, try running that.
Okay.
Man.
Can you really quickly go over what you did in the locations pane again, James? I
Yeah, for sure. So I open up Xcode.
Yeah.
Then I go here, preferences,
Mhm.
and then the locations tab. And then I just need to make, this might already be there. Just want to make sure that something's selected.
Okay, I'm good then.
Cool. And that one took forever. I don't know why that took so long. It's probably this brew update takes forever. Okay.
Hey, question. What's
Yeah.
the difference between Swift and React Native?
Swift is a programming language used to write like it's kind of like a newer Apple language to write like iOS apps. And React Native is a React library meant to write mobile apps. So Swift is like a programming language. React Native is like a framework that wraps JavaScript. So they're both used to write programming languages to write mobile apps, but yeah, Swift is like a language like JavaScript or Python or Java.
One more question. Is JavaScript using mobile apps too?
No, mobile apps do not use JavaScript. Mobile apps need to use the native language to the phone. So for an iOS, like for an iPhone, that language needs to be written in like Swift or Objective-C. And then for like an Android phone, if you want to write like an Android app, a native Android app, it's going to be written in Java or Kotlin. But so what React Native does, React Native allows us to write in React and JavaScript, which we know, but it's going to take that JavaScript code and compile it. It's going to morph it into the Java and iOS code and Swift code. Does that make sense? So it does that step for us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's kind of like you can think of it like maybe like there's like a translator between your React Native translating that code into like the language of iOS and the language of Java. What does this say? Note for M1 users. The M1 architecture is not directly compatible. So the next thing we need to do is do Cocoapods. So we'll see if we encounter an issue, but I'm just going to try doing this without it. But it looks like if we encounter an issue with installing pods, we can try running these commands. So let's see if this works without it.
You're M1, right?
I am an M1.
So you're just gonna try installing that first?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, mine's gonna. I already have mine set up. Okay. So I think that looked like that was successful.
What is the password that it's asking for?
That is the password you use to log into your computer.
Okay.
Which one did you run for that?
The sudo gem install. So these are the two commands. We ran this brew install watchman and sudo gem install Cocoapods.
Brenda, is it letting you type? Because I'm running into the same thing and I can't type though.
No, that's how it is. If I do like when it's typing when it says password here and you're typing, it doesn't give you any UI to let you know that it's being typed, but it is typing.
Okay.
So, and that's because it's requiring my password because it's using this sudo command, which is kind of like the super user. So some of these commands can, you've probably seen this. It's like this command didn't work, but if you put sudo in front of it, it does. So this is kind of like, are you sure you want to do this type command? And so then it will ask you for your password just to make sure you are, you want to do it. Cool. I believe that if you got through all of that, yeah, we have this next thing. So we're going to be using MPX. It's not Yarn, it's not Node, or it's not NPM, it's MPX. This is just going to be another way to create a project. So I think now we are complete. So we can actually try to build a React project. So this is the command we're going to use, MPX React Native init awesome project. So this is like the Yarn create React app project name. So this is the command we use, and then we give it the name of the folder. So I'm just gonna delete this since project name here. That is going to be our command for that. Now this one you do want to run in a folder where you want it built. It's like the Yarn create React app. You run this command where you want this one built. So I go back to my terminal. I go ahead, I'm going to CD into like my DPL demo, make a dir, week 11, CD into that, week 11, and then I can run this command. I don't what? Okay. How do I have not react? Okay, I'm going to hit yes on that. And then this one this is probably going to take a minute. So while this is downloading, this is a good time. Anyone have any questions?
How do I follow along on like the code sandbox thing? 'Cause I don't think I'm gonna be able to.
Okay, yeah, let me pull that link up.
Okay.
I love that somebody took the time to draw that Adam out with hashes.
It's good old fashioned ASCII art. Okay. If you can't get React Native on your machine, this. So if I go to this website, what this does is, I'm going to say this, use the web option on this, use the web option. Use the web option. So what this, so let me pull this up. So this is kind of like the code sandbox, right? Where it's just this online thing and I can come in here and save it. And this kind of shows, so this is React Native right here. So I'm using React Native stuff and I can see what I use the web stuff because like if you try to go to iOS, it like Ooh, it's actually working. Sometimes it puts you in like a line of like 10 people. But this time it actually worked. So see how now it's got like an iPhone simulator. And it's like downloading it on this emulator. And there we go, make a change. And this is what we're going to be doing with the React Native. So if you can't get this up and running, use that web tab. Because that one's usually, that one's available. These like iOS, Android, and yeah, those ones don't work.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
React Native just came back when I was creating this project, and it says that Cocoapods is not installed, but I did install Cocoapods. Should I just say yes again?
No, it looks like I got that same error.
Hmm.
So, it's not saying Cocoapods are installed. Well,
Mine's different than yours. Mine's
Mine
saying,
doesn't look like that either.
asking me a question. It says that it's not installed, and that it's asking me if I want to install it.
oh, maybe try quitting your terminal and reopening it. Like do a iTerm, quit iTerm, reopen it.
Okay. And then try to recreate the project.
Yes, but when you do the npx React Native init project name, give it a different name.
Right.
It looks like I got an error. So what this wants me to do is it wants me to go into it wants me to cd into my project name. And we can look at this. That's going to be my React Native app, but we'll look at this in 1 second. Then it wants, so inside of here, I have an iOS folder and an Android folder. But what it wants me to do is it wants me to go into the iOS folder. I'm just kind of doing this step by step to kind of explain what it's asking me to do. Okay. And now it wants me in the iOS folder to run this pod install command. So let's see, this should have just worked. So now I'm a little worried, but so I'm running pod install in my iOS folder. It's a lot like running yarn in your client folder or running bundle in a Rails project. It's just going to be installing all of these third-party packages that the iOS is dependent on. And this is great. Okay.
Yeah, mine is not letting me install Cocoapods, or it's saying it's not installed.
Run. Okay, this might be, I wonder if this is an issue with this. I'm going to go ahead and run these two commands. Okay.
Mm.
I got the same thing. Cocoapods.
Cocoapods are not installed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's asking me if I want to install it.
Yeah, so we'll run that sudo gem install Cocoapods command. Okay. Let me try. Yeah, I guess just see if anyone. I should have got. This is weird that it's breaking for me because I actually had this working like a month ago. So I've actually already had mine set up. So
Yeah, I tried running those commands a couple times and it didn't work. Like it said one gem installed, but then when I try to run the pod install, it says no pod file in project directory. So I went into a project and it said RBNV version 2.7.4 is not installed.
Want to send you
Mine says that also.
post a screenshot in Slack, James?
2.7. Okay, this is. Oh man, that took me out of his. Yeah, we might just be using. This is crazy.
I did a sudo gem install Cocoapods and that one worked. Mine was not working like your guys's as well, but then when I did sudo gem install Cocoapods, it worked.
Yeah, you do want the pseudo in front of that.
You just did it again.
Is not.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I tried the first time when he first posted it and then it said an error and then I don't know, it worked now.
Yeah, I didn't get an error the first time.
Yeah, mine worked the first time. So with the Cocoapods. Should be. Can I do a Cocoapods dash? Oh wait, that's not gonna be a command. It's gonna be pod. Should be able to do like pod dash version. There it is. Dash version. So if you have Cocoapods installed, then you should be able to run this command. But the error I'm getting, and when it's trying to build, it's not allowing me to do pod install, which is problematic.
It says it's installed, but then when I try to do a React Native project, it says it's not installed. But the dash version says 1.11.3.
I guess we might be using. I don't want to spend too much time on this. And that's a little weird. That is breaking. I'm just gonna try running this anyway. This is probably not gonna work, but so yeah, I was just back in the project name here, project, and I'm doing the npx React Native start. This is like running React or yarn start. I don't think. I mean, I'd be surprised that this works, but I kind of want to give it a go. What this is going to do, or what it's trying to do, is it's going to try to build the project. But since this first one failed, it's not like I do have the project. Like here is it did build this project, but for some reason it's not building, it's not installing these pods. But we can kind of, while this is building, let's just look at what we have here. So I did the npx React Native create, or whatever it is, the npx React Native init, and then created a project. So all this is probably not going to run. It did create kind of our default code. So if you notice, yeah, I do have an Android folder and an iOS folder.
I'm not getting any of those. It's
Yeah.
like just opening up a new project on my,
So you can CD into that project you created.
yeah, I CD'd into it and then it just gives me a, yeah.
How about, let's have one of you share your screens. I'm kind of curious to see like what kind of errors you're getting.
Trina's fix got mine to work, so I'm caught up now. I can see stuff in VS Code. Thank you, Trina.
You're welcome. I can show what mine did, James. You want me to?
Yeah, go for it.
Recording in progress.
Cool.
And then
Wait, where did you run?
There's more up here.
Oh wait, npx React Native. Okay, you said yes. Wait, scroll down. Okay, yeah. So CD, let's do a CD back from this demo project. Just create a new one. Do an npx that React dash native init.
And then a
something-
name.
Yeah. So this is building the app, but let's see if you get that. So now that it says you have pods and so that was successful. Let's see if this works.
So I got this last time, and this is where I did this one.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Huh. Why is it? This is
Yeah, it's like it's having us install Cocoapods every time.
Yeah.
say
Do we need to like restart our computers or something?
When I did the pod dash dash version in the project, it said I didn't have it installed, but then I went back to my week 11 folder and it did show a version. It said not a version in one folder and version in another. So is it like download per file or something? Folder, I guess.
I mean, you should. There are different versions.
It said pod not installed when I did it in one folder, and then it was installed. Did have a version in another one, so that was weird.
Yeah, for this, hit down and just do yes with homebrew. Yeah, this is a not. This is a bug on their end, I feel like. Never seen this. Okay. So then you have to install Cocoapods again.
This is a little different than last time. Like last time it was faster and just did this gem. I don't, maybe this time. It's different.
Do you have Xcode installed?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have command line tools. Okay. Yeah. Go to your Xcode. I just want to see what version your command line tools are.
That's weird. It's just bound. Oh wait, there it goes.
Yeah, it takes it's a big app. It takes
Oh, okay. Okay, you want to see what version?
yeah, so go to
like-
go to preferences.
Preference.
Go to that locations. Okay, you're 13.3.1. Okay, that's all I want. That's what I wanted to see.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so but you should, okay, so open up another pane. Let this download. So like right click on this and like split pane vertically or something. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you should be able to CD in there, right? Into that, what did you call it? Project here? Project
This
two? Yeah.
project 2. Okay.
And then open that up, like do a code dot. And yeah. So you have like, you have the code there. So there's the project. So
Yeah, I'm
you-
not getting that code.
Okay, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah. And I just followed the steps. I did the homebrew instead. And then I CD'd into it and it just says get started.
Do it in your terminal, do an ls. How did you create this iPhone app too? Wait, what? Oh wait, no, there. Yeah, do it. They're there. There's your iOS and do it. Yeah, do a code dot. That's there. I just think you have it open somewhere else, right?
She needs to click the files things at the top, the file images. No?
I think you have like if you have VS Code open, it probably popped up somewhere else. Do you have like another desktop or another screen somewhere?
No, this is all the screens that I have.
Okay, quit VS Code. I mean, it's yeah. Now do a code dot.
Let me quit. Okay. Okay, I just had to quit it. and then
Yeah,
restart
it was there. Yeah. So all that stuff's there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I did it like 3 times.
Okay. So did everyone at least get or to the point where they could build the project?
My tools just finished downloading, so I'm trying to catch up.
Okay. Sweet. I'm gonna try one more thing. Let's okay. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Well, I'm trying. Okay, so let me share my screen again. So what we want to be able to do, and like I said, I ran this npx React Native run iOS command. Throw that out in Slack. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Okay. Do that in your folder, your React Native project. And what that does is that brings up an iPhone on your computer. And it should go build the app on your iPhone, and then you can go click on it and then you can develop it. But this failed, and this is not a surprise because it's not. If I try to run this pod install, so it's like, this is the error I'm getting. Well, it's saying it cannot find a pod log file. It's like, did you run pod install? CD into iOS pod install, but this command fails. Which I don't know. So I'm curious if does someone want to share their screen? And I want to see if you can go into the iOS folder and run pod install. Did that work for anyone, or does someone want to share their screen and experiment with that?
It still tells me the RBNV is not installed.
Oh my gosh.
I can share my screen.
Yeah, share your screen. It's saying RBENV is not installed.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, because so if you do an RBENV and dash version, or I forget what it is, RBENV. It's
Oops.
RBENV dash V.
Does it need to be updated maybe? Because I have 1.2 and it's asking for 2.7.
Maybe, let me. No, do No, do this, do Ruby. Sorry, RBENV dash dash. I need to look at I forget the command. Give me 1 second. Has anyone else seen this error?
Yes, I'm doing the same thing.
Okay, so do RBENV versions, no dash. Yeah,
Versions.
yeah. Okay. Let me see my RBNB versions. Okay, so go ahead and do this. So if you're seeing that 2.7.4 error, I'll throw this in Slack. So if you're seeing, it's not saying that your RBNV version is, that's not your RBNV version, it's your Ruby version. So it wants you to have 2.7.4 installed. So, and this command is going to take a second to run, but I'll slack this out. So if you see that error, so go ahead and you see that in Slack. Yeah. So install that. Now that command is probably going to take a couple minutes to run.
Cool. Do you want me to stop sharing then?
Sure.
Thank you.
Did anyone get past that error and has a different error? I haven't.
Question real quick.
Yeah.
Do I install with Gem or with Homebrew for Cocoapods? It's giving me that question.
Maybe I should have you done with Gem. Do Gem. Maybe that's causing. Yeah, do Gem. Do the. I don't know why it's asking. You did the sudo gem install Cocoapods, right?
Yeah.
Why is it asking? Okay. I'm gonna try something else.
Yeah, I just got in there. Try it again manually.
Yeah, that's really. This is really weird. How much issues this is giving us.
This is just another day for me.
Another day. Yeah, with your computer.
That M1 second command, the Arch 8664 pod install, does that need to be run in the iOS folder? Because it looks like it was looking for a pod file.
Let me look at it again. I don't. No. I think that's just gonna. Yeah, that does. I think that can be run anywhere.
Okay.
Or maybe I don't know. Let me try that.
Because I tried that one and it gave me a no pod file found in project directory. That was before I realized there was a pod file in the iOS folder.
Yeah, let me try doing that in the iOS folder of my project.
Yeah, now it's telling me you couldn't find a valid Gem Cocoapods.
Okay. So you cannot find gem. Can you do a pod dash V?
Let me check it. Let's get back into the folder.
New pod repo update. Oh, wait, I got somewhere. Let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, I did run these two commands in the iOS folder, but I got this error. So then I ran a pod repo update. And then I ran because this error failed the Arch x64 pod installed. And I got these two commands from here. Where's my React Native docs? Stupid M1 shit, man. It's been causing so many problems.
It's like nobody wants to make compatible software with silicone.
Okay, so yeah, I guess it doesn't really, if you encounter issues installing pod. Yeah, so I ran these two in my pod file. So if issue, so this is more like you cd into iOS and have error. Those iOS. Try. Install. Wait, what? Do not use pod install. Okay, actually, I'm going to delete this now because it's saying don't do it. I think, okay, no, wait, duh, this is the pod install. That's the pod install right there. Duh.
I'm getting another Ruby error again.
You are? Okay.
It says pod command not found. The pod command exists in these Ruby versions 3.0.2.
Oh my God, okay. But you were having that other thing download though, right?
Yeah, it finished.
Okay, I'm gonna run this command and then I'm gonna have you share your screen.
Mine is still installing, but I'm in the same boat as Jess, just a little bit behind.
So that Ruby thing needs, so let that Ruby install before you do any of this. I think that's the first thing. I'm gonna try, okay. Yeah, and I'm just gonna rebuild this. This is by far the most, this is usually a little difficult, but this is by far the most difficult React Native setup to date.
I got a new pop-up window that says Metro Node.
Yeah, did you run npx React Native? Which one is it? Start?
I can't remember.
Try running this one, the npx React Native run iOS.
In my terminal or the new pop-up terminal that came up?
No, in your terminal. So this command is when you think like it is all working, like no errors in previous commands. And you do this in your React Native project. So let's look at some errors. This is built. This one takes a second too. These all kind of, this is a pain because a lot of these commands can like take a second, like a minute or two. Jess, you want to share your screen? You said you were getting an error.
Yeah. So it finished with the Ruby. I did the pseudo arch and that seemed to work. But then the pod install didn't work.
Okay, did you run that? Oh wait, you did run the pseudo arch.
Yeah, this one. And it seemed to work because it says one gem installed.
The pod command exists. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me look at one thing really quick. RBNV. Why does it? Okay. I guess you need wait, when you did RBN versions, what did it say? Oh, wait, you have to read out through all that too.
Yeah.
Quit iTerm and let's see if that.
Says you can run yarn instead of NPX. Would that work better?
No, use NPX because that's like that has the the React Natives, that NPX React Native, that's a command with NPX. So it is doing things a little differently. What if you just do a pod install? And then, oh my God. Yeah, this one. Try doing this. Go back, just CD back, CD back. Just create a new project. So NPX React Native in it. Yeah. Well, it needs to be a different name.
It's just a different name.
Oh, it is? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you said awesome React. Cool. And then, yeah, try. This takes a second, but try doing it. Do it with the gem.
Okay.
Let's try doing it with the gem. Maybe that was the problem. We did the homebrew last time, right?
I've done the gem the last couple times.
Okay. That's a new, it's never asked me that before. So when I did this last cohort, which was 2-3 months ago, this part, something has changed. I'm going to share my screen while that's building.
Okay.
So what you want to get to the point, or where you want to get to, is right here, where you have the iPhone up, and I can just show you so you can kind of see why we're going through all this pain. But what I have now is I have an iPhone on my computer that's running the app. So here's I can pretend I have this, it's called an emulator. just kind of pretending to be an iPhone. But here's my app. It's called project name here. That was the name of that I called it, and I can open it up. And here's my React Native app. And then so I ran to get that, the command that really gets it working is the npx React Native run iOS. That's the thing that like builds it onto the emulator and it pops it up and it runs it. It also starts this Metro bundler. So the npx, so really this is like the only command you really need to run, but this does pop up this what's called this Metro bundler. And this is like bundling the JavaScript into like the native language. So what I can do though now, and I'm going to just put these on the same screen. So I'm just going to give a little demo and then we can go back to some debugging. But let's just kind of look at this component. And actually, to not be so confusing, I'm just going to take this app.js and I'm going to delete it. Save, and then that's going to blow up. So notice how like I changed my app.js and now that just completely blows up my React Native app. So I need to now write this app out. Well, you know, this is React Native. You don't know anything about React Native, right? So let's just kind of see how we could do it. So if I want to write a React component, I just can do like a functional component, right?
Isn't there no JSX?
Yeah. So here's kind of the first problem. It's like, well, I'm not going to be using JSX. Like, I mean, it's not going to be this embedded HTML. What I need to do is I need to use the components that React Native provides to me. So, and you can think of this a lot like using, like when you use like a UI library, you're using their components for your app. But in this case, they're going to be from React Native. So one of the most common ones, and this is kind of like a div, is I need the view component. So let's do the view component. Well, I also need to export default app. Can't find React. Yeah, this one actually makes me import React from React. Cool. Now writing a mobile app. Does this look really any different from, or that so far any different than a React app? I mean, like we're using this view component from React Native, but we have a functional component that's just returning, you know, this code. That looks like JSX. So we can think of it kind of like the same as JSX. It's going to work. It's not the same, but it's going to work similarly. We just need to use these React components. So like I want some text in here. So I'm going to say like, hello. And boom, that blows up. It says, hey, text must be rendered within a text component. Okay, let's grab a text component. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there.
Jeez.
There's like a safe area view component. This is a component because, you know, phones have like these weird notches and they're all different. So they gave us this safe area view component that kind of takes into account the different notches on different phones. And there we go. Hello. Let's talk about styling. Maybe I want to do like style equals, background red. Can do inline styling. A lot of times we'd like we would in JavaScript, we do like a const styles. Do it here, but something I'm going to do, I'm going to import styles sheet. And then I'm going to do this very similarly as we did in React, but just like, I'm going to use this style sheet.create method. And then this takes an object, and then I can like come in here and start adding some style objects. So let's say I want like a container. This is just going to be another object. So something that's a little interesting, this is not CSS, but it's very similar to CSS. So like, and one way that the way we arrange stuff in React Native app is with the Flexbox model. So even though it's not CSS, it uses the concepts of Flexbox. Justify content. So I could do like center. And then here I can do style equals styles.container. Styles.container. Where is my hello? Where did that go? Maybe I need to do some more.
Need the double brackets on the styles, on the style.
No, because now I have the, like I'm doing the styles.container.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Where is it? I think it's there. Justify content. Am I getting an error?
So can you have like a console on this?
Yes. There's all my hellos. I don't know why this, let's do today index line items. Let's just do like a justify.
So you're kind of writing in JavaScript syntax, but it's converting it for us.
Yeah, I'm kind of just writing in, this just looks like React, right? So I'm writing in React. There's some small differences, like let's do like border. Like there's not like, border is not like an approved style. Or like, I don't do it like this. If I want to do a border, I gotta do like border color. And border size. Border width. And I don't do like, 1 pixel, it's just a number, it's just 1, 2. So it's not CSS, but it's very similar. Align content, I'm trying to get this centered. Why is this Flex 1 breaking it? Maybe this one needs to be a Flex 1 too. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so what about, like Joe, is that like, how do we do like a console.log? So what I can do is in my window. So I can do. I can do it. So I do a Command Shift Z. Where is it? Devices. There's a way I just want to shake my simulator. I need to like shake it. Oh, there it is. So I can debug this with Chrome. And that pops open this browser. So that was a Control Shift Z, or I can go here, device, shake. It's not shaking it. But the shaking will throw up the, it's Command Control Z. There it is. So if this pops up like this, like little dev toolbox, and then yeah, you can reload, you can stop debugging, that kind of thing. But inside of here, I can now inspect, and now I can like see my console. So let's say I want to log a message when this mounts. How might I do that? Well, how do we do something on mount? We just do a use effect. There we go. There's my mounted. So if I, do a Control Command Z and hit reload, that remounts it. So there we go, mounted. So how different so far does this look from like a React app? It's a little different, but not that much different, right?
I'd say like 85% the same.
Yeah. What? Well, let's come back. Let's take a break. I kind of just wanted to do a quick demo, but I kind of do want to see if I can get some of you set up with this. So let's do this. Let's do like a 20-minute break, but I kind of want, so if someone wants to, if you want to, I'm going to stick around the whole time. So if you want, you can stick on now, or you can take a little break, but I'm going to be around to help people with their setup.
Okay, yeah, mine's still not running.
Are you gonna be recording the setup fix and stuff still too?
Yeah, and I'll leave this recording.
Yeah, it's a more difficult day for me. We couldn't find a sitter for my kid, so I have him today. So I'm trying to pay attention, and I can't do a whole lot right now, but
And like you can follow along, with this, I could take this code, I can go to snack.
you're not sharing your screen if you're meant to.
Oh yeah, let me show it. Sure, sorry. Like you can still follow along with this lecture in snack. See, I just copied and pasted what I had in my app. See, and so I can come in here and do it. So just go.
Yeah, I plan on following along with the video. I just can't do it at the moment since he's awake and everything. If he's asleep or later when my wife gets home, I'm gonna do it.
Sweet.
What time do we come back?
Let's come back at 11:20.
All right, sounds good.
So does anyone want to?
Yeah, I'll share my screen because I'm struggling.
Can I quickly run by you something that I tried that seems to be working?
Did you get yours working?
So yeah, I switched. So I was in the same situation that Jess was in, where it said that the something was only found in RBNV version 302 or whatever.
Yeah.
The pod command. So I switched my local version back to that. And then I ran pod inside the iOS folder and it seemed to install just fine. And now I'm running the React Native run iOS and it's building without any errors so far. Looks like
Okay.
the iPhone screen just popped up actually.
What is that? Okay, so you did that in your, that's such a pain. But that
But it works.
I mean, mine got working too.
you got yours working?
Yeah, so after running those commands, the M1 commands in there, or that first one, when I tried to create a new one, when I just did the gem install, it seemed to install it just fine. That's like that last time around.
Okay.
And then the pods and everything were in there and fine.
And you ran npx, and did you have your app up and running in the emulator?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Steve, do you have your app up and running in the emulator? Or you just close it?
I see.
Or is it, you said it's building?
Well, no, so the iPhone screen is up and I'm like looking at the home screen on the iPhone. Where would my app be though?
It'd be on the iPhone under the name that is your project name. So like,
no, so it hasn't shown up.
Shreya's is iPhone app 2. There should be, like on this screen, there should be a app that says iPhone app 2, and there's not. So it's not built.
Mine hasn't shown up, no.
Okay. So Shreya,
Oh, it still says it's building though, so I'll keep.
Yeah, give it a second. So let's see, go to your terminal.
I ran this, but it would just continue saying building, and I'm wondering if it's because, well,
No, this takes a second. This can take like a minute or two. But what were you thinking?
well, it said when I put an X code here it's indexing, and I'm not sure what if that's probably because I had it running the entire time since we put this.
So you have an iPhone 13 emulator running. So that's kind of telling me that Xcode is fine.
Okay.
Because that's like up and running. So that, but yeah, this can take like 3 or 4 minutes.
But I didn't have I think I had the same problem with the Cocoapods. Did that is that a difference? Because right here.
Yeah, if that didn't work, if you got that error with the Cocoapods, this npx React Native run iOS is not going to work.
Okay, yeah. I started another project and followed along when you were helping Jess, and the same thing happened then. So
okay.
So after I ran that one command inside one of the iOS folders in my project, then that seemed to be that I could install the Cocoapods the next time I got that error.
So you just had to do that once. I wonder if you're gonna have.
Yeah, because then when it installed, I opened the app and there was already the pods folder inside of it.
So don't run that command yet, just because you're trying to. Let's just hit Control-C on this, on the thing that's building.
right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. CD into iOS. Do you have an M1 chip?
No.
You don't?
No, I think mine's different.
Okay. Yeah, go to your Apple. Let's just about this Mac. Yeah, okay. You have a 9.9.
Oh, I do? Wait.
Yeah, you don't have an M1.
Okay.
Yeah, so in here run pod install. Okay. So now this was, so do RB-ENV versions. So you have, okay, so do this, do R. So what it's saying, I think this is what Steve did. It's you're using 2.74 right now in this folder, but it's looking, I don't know why it's not just automatically using 3.0.2, but so do RBENV.
Local 3.0.2.
Yeah.
Local.
Yeah.
And then the 3.0.2. So that's, so right now you're in this folder, you're using and you need a space after local. It's using 2.7.4, but you're trying to run pod install and it's like, hey, we want 3.0.2. So now if you do Ruby -v now. See, now you're using 3.0.2. That's good. So now do pod install.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if you're gonna have to do this on all the. Cool.
Yeah, this is exactly what mine did.
Oh,
It's taking forever to build, but
Cool. Now, so now you have the pods installed. So
Okay.
now you can go back, do a cd ... Now you can do the npx React Native start.
is it this?
Yeah. Sorry. Run IO,
Okay.
npx React Native run iOS. And yeah, this is probably gonna, this takes a couple minutes.
Okay. Cool. Now that I have it installed,
But that, yeah, that's,
that was my problem. That's why it wasn't working.
yeah. And I don't know, like it should automatically. Why? Wait, let me look at this. Set by. Will you go to your week 11 directory? So in the iTerm, just on the left pane, sorry, just that. Just do Ruby -v space -v.
Oh.
See, I don't know why it's when you. Okay. Trying to think what is going to be the best way to fix this in the future. Okay. Anyway, you're good. I think this should work.
Okay. It just takes a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is anyone else? But I'm glad we're getting some of you through.
Mine also didn't work.
Do you want to share your screen?
Okay.
There's just like a bunch of different errors here.
I did a couple of projects. I don't know which one to go back to try again, or I have two that I tried. So
Just go
Just
into like
pick one or just pick
go
one.
into the second one.
I don't remember what I did in a second. Whoops. Why is it saying that? Okay.
Okay, so cd into iOS. And do a pod install. Okay, so
So then do the 302 thing.
I wonder, I'm just open this up in code. I want to maybe do like experiment a little here. Except I think you need to CD back and then
Oh,
open that up and via like the full project here. Oh, except you don't have, okay, never, you don't have 2.7. If you do RBENV versions, RBENV versions, which ones do you have installed? Okay, so you don't have, okay, yeah, sorry. So CD back into iOS. But, and you have that open in code, right?
oh, I didn't open the project thing.
Okay, open this up in code. And then I can't see your VS Code.
Yeah. It won't come over to the, it's not coming over to that screen. I can't pull it over to my other one. Let me try I'll unstop sharing and reshare because I don't know why it's not letting me pull it over to the other screen.
Just try, just try deleting, do this, just delete your Ruby version file in VS Code. It's the .ruby version. I'm kind of experimenting with yours. Do you see that? The file?
Oh. The Ruby,
It's the .ruby version. If you open it, it just has a number in it. Just delete that.
Delete the folder or the number?
Delete the file.
The file, okay.
And then now in your iOS folder, run pod install. Let's see. Okay. I'm just trying to think of like the easiest way to, this might be the easiest way to fix it, is just delete that file. Did that create it again and give you a new Ruby version file?
Hang on, I'm trying to get Zoom to share the other screen. Now do you see the studio code? Oh, now we're on this. Okay. Now what screen are you seeing? Are you seeing the
Yeah, I can see your VS Code.
VS Code? Okay. That's weird.
It didn't, okay.
Okay, so this.
I
What
think
did you ask?
no, I could see in your VS Code. I was seeing if it regenerated that RBENV version file, but it didn't. It's fine. So what this is doing by deleting that that RBENV version file, it's just going to use the default one that's on your computer, not the one that was set there. So I think you could have gone in and instead of deleting that file, you could have changed the 2.74 to 3.0.2. But I kind of think this step's going to maybe be easier because then you don't have to like see what Ruby version you're using. But this looks like the pod install is working. It takes a minute. So once this is done, we should be able to CD back into your project name here too and run the npx React Native run iOS command. I think, cool. Yeah, so CD backpack. And then, yeah, MPX, you can copy that from Slack.
What? I tried to click copy and it broke.
It didn't work.
I tried copying and it like, I think I hit whatever button copies and paste because it pasted it into this like it copy and pasted in the same command. Unable to boot device in current state.
All right, I'm not seeing that error.
Let me try sharing my other screen.
Looks like it was trying to build it.
Oh, well, the error went away now, so I don't know what that was.
Yeah, give that looked like it was building it, so give that
Is
error.
is it supposed to take this long? Mine still isn't building.
Do you want to, will you share your screen?
Yeah.
So did mine look okay then?
Yeah, but yeah, give it can take a couple minutes to build it.
Okay.
Let me see your terminal.
No. Terminal.
Yeah. You know, go back to your iPhone emulator. Kind of scroll around on the screens, is it? It sometimes like pops up the icon to like show that it's building, like with like a loading indicator type thing.
Yeah. Still not.
That does seem to be taking 8-bit.
Mine took an extremely long time, but I am finally.
How long did yours take, would you say?
Oh man, I think I had it start building before the break even started, and I just came back and I was watching my. Let's see. My Metro was still building something when I came back, and I barely just got my app to show up on the simulator. Right?
On this page.
Yeah, so it shows up there now. Now it's open, and I can see the Welcome to React Native screen on the emulator.
I would let it keep building.
Okay.
Maybe go to about this Mac. I feel like you had a pretty good processor. Yeah,
Mine took a long time too. It was on that building the app for like 10 minutes. It felt like.
Yeah,
Mine built, but I'm getting a no bundle URL present error.
okay. You want to share? So yeah, I would say just wait on that. As long as you don't have an error, as long as that thing's like kind of running.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it might be a problem with Node.
No, that's not it. So that's like a flow, like a TypeScript thing.
We did this, and this is where my what's that other screen that you're supposed to be looking at right now? Your Metro.
I would just iOS. I think you just need to reload it.
Yeah.
There, it's working now. It's bundling.
I had to reload it as well.
I think it just automatically reloaded. Sweet.
There you go. It's kind of the one. I don't know, like the React Native stuff, like getting it set up and like the environment stuff with React Native can be a little more challenging because there's a lot more going on versus like React or just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It's going from JavaScript to like Java and JavaScript to Swift. But yeah, anyone else? I know some of yours probably are not done building. Like I said, if you want, you can follow along because it's 11:20. I kind of want to do a little more demos, and we'll also continue this tomorrow. But I just want to do like a quick demo just to show. Partly now that we have it set up, I think that's like the most challenging thing of today's lecture, and it's hard. Like I think React Native, there can be a little more pain in the environment stuff. Today was particularly painful, but now that we do have it set up, what I do want to show is that, you know, with our knowledge of React, we're going to just be able to start coding without, you know, doing like we're writing a mobile app in one day. So let's look at some of the features we can build. So in my app.js, I have my awesome red screen. Let's say I want to do an Axios call. Okay, so I want to grab some data on mount. So for this, I'm just going to use the rec res insight to pull some dummy data. We'll do this get request API users. Cool. So let's go ahead. How do I do this? Like, how do I, you know, add Axios and some of those things? So simple enough. I just go to my project name or wherever I go to my terminal, and I just do a yarn add Axios.
Question, what's the backends that they use?
This is no backend.
No?
You mean React Native?
Yeah, like, or like for iPhones, like, do they have a backend? And if so, like what backend languages do they usually use?
Well, this is where this is kind of nice as we've like when we're doing a React app, the React app doesn't use, it's not like React and Rails are not like a have to work together. I could have my React app work with a Rails app, a Java app, a whatever app. Like this rec res insight that I'm using, I don't know what their backend is. I don't know what language they're using. All I care about is if I do a get request to API, to this URL, it gives me back this data. So it doesn't matter what backend they're using. And it's nice as far as when we set up our backend, I don't care if they're using React, Angular, React Native, they just give me that request. So as we've been like in this class, we've been learning this cool way of doing it where we have the front end part of our app and the back end part. They really are two different apps. And then we're using the HTTP protocols to communicate between those two apps. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, our React Native app, there's no backend, but I could go hit a Rails backend, I could go hit a JavaScript backend or Node backend, etc. So I could also add like the Axios hooks. I did Axios. So yeah, in my app.js, I'm going to kind of keep these side by side so I don't have to switch screens. Because yeah, I just have in here, I have my package JSON with those gems, with those NPM packages added. So now I can do a I guess I won't use the Axios hooks. We could, but let's just do this as we normally would. So in my use effect, I could say something like get users. Get users. Well, how do we do that? Well, this is just going to be the exact same. It's going to be an async function where we can do a try catch error. Something like this, let res equal await. Do my axios.get. Did I copy that URL? So now I need to go to this website. Well, it's just a get request to that URL. All right. I'm getting an error, but we'll look at that later. Go ahead. So what would I maybe also need? I need some state. Okay, well, let's get my use state hook. Because this request gives me back some users. And it looks like it's coming back as res.data.data. That's going to be a list of users. So if I want some user state, users set users. So are you seeing this, the concept of the learn once, write anywhere? Like this stuff I'm doing right here, this is like the exact same I would do in a React app. Looks like I can check here. Am I getting an error? I might want to do, since I just did that Axios, I'm going to.
Is that screen, that's your iTerm or what is that?
This is what's called the bundler. So yeah, for some reason it's not liking Axios. Like when I did the yarn add Axios, this is breaking it. I need to like, I'm trying to like swipe up. Okay, so let's try to reload this. So what happens when I make a change is it's going to like, it's going to bundle this. So it bundles it here. And then if there's an error, I can see that error inside of here. Also, this just seems like it has frozen. See if I get a better error. Man, this is not, get users is not defined. I wonder, okay, I'm gonna reload. All right. So it looks like it broke. So I'm going to terminate this. So what I'm going to do, sometimes you can run into these issues. I'm just going to run this npx React native run iOS again. Now, this shouldn't take as long to build as it did the first time. So that built the app. Now it's bundling it, and I'm still getting this error. All right. That, this looks like an error with Axios. Unless I'm doing something wrong. Okay, let me go make sure. I mean, nope, that looks pretty good. Node modules. Go look at Axios. It's there. Let's try doing this. So we've always been using Axios. There's actually another thing called fetch. So fetch does the same thing. It's like Axios. Fetch is actually built in to JavaScript. We don't need to like import it or anything. So fetch looks something like this. We do a fetch, and then we give it the URL. So if fetch is going to do a get request by default, and then we can do a dot then. So what we do is we get our response. We actually kind of need to do these two dot thens, because Axios does this step for us where it takes our data and converts it to a object. And then we do another dot then. So I'm just going to slack this out, and we'll kind of make it work our way, because Axios is not playing nice. Which Axios works in React Native. I don't know what's going on here. Wait, but let's see if we can get, this might be something with the emulator kind of preventing it. So that's kind of why I want to try fetch. So let me show you what to do with fetch. I'm just going to copy that here. So it's kind of the same idea. I'm going to fetch. It's like the axios.get. Throw in my URL. Take the response, convert it to JSON. And so then here, let's just console.log what this data is right here. So all I did was I just changed the URL. It doesn't even like want me to import Axios.
Can you still put an error message on that too?
Yeah. So the way you do, and I don't, since we're doing dot then dot catch, well, I can do it like this, dot catch. So I could also, so I don't want to get you like, so the fetch, I could do my Axios call like this. I could do a axios.get. Catch. So I can use the dot then dot catch syntax with Axios. I'm just going to say this res.data is the users. Just to kind of give you like a side-by-side comparison. So with the fetch, I have to do this extra like dot then to grab the response and like convert it to data. And then we're going to log this just to see what it is. So now I need to find my thing. There it is. And let me throw a log in here, right here. So let's go ahead and do a preload, Command Shift C. So there's my data here. So data dot data. that is going to be my users. So here I could just set users data dot data. These are, I can call these things whatever. I could call that R, call this D. Maybe do that to not get you confused with the name. Cool. So then, so now I'm just kind of doing the same thing. I just, for some reason, it's not, Axios is breaking. Kind of don't want to go in and debug that because we spent too much time debugging. But what I can do, let's go ahead and do a JSON.stringify users. Cool. So I could reload. And there we go. I go up to my API, I get the data and set it. Now, if Axios were working, await, I mean, I need to make this async since I'm now using await. I'm not sure why we're getting this error. Or does it work now? What? Hello. Oh, set users. Let's do this. So that kind of looks like it didn't at least break console.log res. I just kind of want to see what that looks like. So I'm going to do a reload. This might be failing. Log error. Axios. Oh yeah, it's because I am okay. Yeah, that's why that's not breaking. Because once I import Axios, yeah, it says URL could not be found. Oh, yarn add. Not sure why that is breaking, but reload. Let's quit. So sometimes, yeah, this is a little more like npx React Native on iOS. So there's my Axios is not defined. If this breaks again, I'm going to not worry about this. Wait, I don't reload this one, so I do Control Shift C. Oh, there we go. I don't know, for some reason I had to do that yarn add URL. It didn't automatically add that. Should have. But we got Axios working. Did anyone else get that URL error? I can Slack this out. just like this, you know, with fetch .net .catch syntax. So these two things are doing the same thing. This one uses fetch, which is built into JavaScript. Here we're using Axios, and we're also using await. So you can kind of combine these two. I could use fetch. I could do this like let r equal await fetch and then await. So you can combine these two. Let's just kind of keep this to how we've been doing it. I will just throw this down as an example. Okay. So now we have some user state. Now I might want to like render my users. Well, for this, we just do users.map. Go through each user and return, you know, our React Native components. So for this, I'm going to want to view component. But yeah, and then I can do like my text component. So it really is just, it is pretty much the same. I'm just using the React components instead of HTML. Let's give this a key. Make sure I return this. Yeah, instead of stringing, find the users, let's just go users. And then let's throw these in a view. And then let's do render users. Let's say I want to do a, I don't know, let's maybe just stop it here and do more tomorrow. I think today was more just like a setup day. But I don't know, this is like, and this is one of the reasons I really recommend after this course, you do a React Native course. Because couple things. This is doing a React Native course, and if you go pick a React Native course that uses like Redux, you'll learn Redux, you'll learn React Native, but then you're also just going to get another like different perspective of React, and it's kind of going to be a review of React. And so you'll be able to like go in and like, you know, here like relearn React in a sense. Right? Because this is just React. So it's pretty cool, huh? It's why a lot of companies like using, I mean, there can be some headaches with like the setup and getting, you know, trying to do some more custom functionality, but you get this huge benefit of now you can write Android apps and iOS apps, and then also web apps. So you can have a developer, like if you hire someone that knows React, they can be a mobile developer and they can be a web developer.
Sweet.
So it's pretty cool. Does anyone have any questions or any setup issues?
Mine is still not building, so I don't know. It's still sitting there. It's been a while.
The one thing I'm having too is I've been sitting on Xcode for a while. It's been like 99% installed, but it won't completely install it.
Did you do
just-
the
Everything else is installed for me completely though. What did you say, Steve?
Did you do it through the App Store?
Yeah.
That I had that issue as well, and what I found is that it's better to go to the Xcode website and download it from there. I don't know.
How did you stop your install?
What's that?
How did you stop your install?
Isn't there a cancel button or something?
Look, I'll share my screen and show you. Doing it right now.
Here, I'm gonna do, let me do this first. I'm gonna break out the room so you can go into your groups. But I'll stick around here. So if potatoes, if I'll stick around if you want to hop in and ask me about React Native setup questions or other questions. Yeah, so who was that, you, Shreya, who's having the, or is it
Yeah, it's still not building.
still, man, that,
I'll see if I can help Randy.
cool.
All right.
Yeah, let me open the rooms. I'm like, I don't know if I want to tell you to stop building it and rerun it again.
I did install the app from the App Store, so maybe would that make a difference? I mean, Xcode is running, but
Yeah, no, I like I said, I think since the emulator's running, like if there's something wrong with Xcode, that wouldn't work.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think your other, yeah, you could stop it, just do a Control-C and run it again. Because that has been like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's what happened the last time I did the bundle. But I didn't have those gems either, so.
Yeah, I would say just so stop it, run it again, and then you can go like work on your project and just have that running kind of on like the side. And then like if it's like another 20 minutes, then
Okay.
let's maybe like or we could just rebuild a project now. Like let's maybe do that. Let's just create a new project and go through the steps and then build that out just to be.
Might need the tools.
This will stop that. So it goes CD back. And yeah.
Do I guess I could just copy and paste.
Yeah, or just hit back because it's npx React Native in it. So just backspace .run iOS
Oh,
and do init.
and just go new project.
Cool. And then this will take a second. So this is taking a second. Does anyone else have questions?
Yeah, I got an error on the iPhone emulator. It says cannot get batch bridge. Make sure your bundle is packaged correctly.
Will you share your screen?
Yeah.
And then Shreya, let me know when that's done.
Okay.
All right. Oh, go to that other terminal, that one that says, okay, yeah, you're having this, I don't know what. So yeah, if we want to use Axios, you need to go into this, you need to add this, do a yarn add URL.
On this terminal or the other one?
In your Rails, in your React Native project.
I did it twice.
Oh, you did. Okay, so do a MPX React. So try to rebuild your project. Do an MPX React Native -native run iOS. Run space run -iOS. Sorry. And okay, cool. So do this. Close the other terminal, the bundler one. Yeah, now hit like reload on your emulator. Cool. There you go. So now run the MPX, run that MPX React Native run iOS command again. There you go. Yeah, so sometimes with like React Native, it is you kind of need to do the like good old fashioned reset type deal. Especially like if you're installing maybe some node packages, sometimes they don't get added quite right. So that's always kind of like a good thing to try, is just quitting that bundler and then rerunning your that MPX run MPX React Native run iOS command. So, all right. So,
Yeah.
oh wait, that didn't even have any issues.
Yeah, it did the Cocoapods, so that was good.
Cool, nice. Yeah, so just do MPX React Native run iOS.
Right here.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess
That launches that.
I'll just wait.
Yeah, wait, we'll see. Well, yeah, it can just, I guess it can take a while the first time, but yeah, 20 minutes seemed too long, but I don't know. I would say like, give this until like when we come back from lunch.
Okay, sounds good.
Because
Thank you.
that like it's work like that, then you didn't have any, because that's normally how it goes. You don't have any issues when you create the project.
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to just pop up right here.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
Okay.
building. And yeah, the first time you build something, it does take like, I mean, for me, it took like 5 minutes, and other people were saying it was taking like 10 minutes. So
Okay, cool.
sweet. Any other questions? So because if you don't, you can hop into your rooms.
It says the simulator trampoline XPC would like to access your files in the desktop folder.
Yes, hit yes on that. That might have been, that pop-up might have been somewhere in the previous build. So that was pausing it. Cool. That's good.
Okay.
I have project question, or more just asking for guidance.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let me share my screen really quick. So I figured out a fair amount of the API stuff. I just want to make sure that I'm heading in the right direction with all my, oh, not that one. With all the stuff that I'm going to be doing.
Cool.
So I'm basically running 4 API calls here. Let me refresh this so it's a little cleaner. So the videos, I'm probably gonna want to filter, right? If I'm just wanting like the trailer, I'd probably just want to pull the one that is the type trailer and then take one of that.
Okay, yeah. Well, so does it have the link to the YouTube?
So
Or-
what they do is the key is right there, and then they prepend it with you just have to prepend it with like the HTTPS YouTube. So they just basically include the last portion of the link.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Are they all, wait, are they all trailers?
They're not all trailers. Some of them are like featurettes, and then they have like blooper reels and different stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you could, that one you could totally just, filter where type equals trailer.
Okay, and then I can filter it to where I only take the first one or like one of them, right? If I didn't care which trailer.
If you only want one, you would do the find method.
Okay.
And that would find the first one. Filter is going to return you all the matches.
Cool. Okay, so find on that one. And then on the movie, so I think destructuring or deconstructing or whatever is what I would need to do to grab the genre names from this, right? Because it's essentially an array inside of an object.
You don't need, like, destructuring is just like a shorthand to grab that, because you just want the genres.
Yeah, so right now I'm pulling
It'd just be movie.genre. Movie.genres.
okay, so would I just do like another Axios call, like another API call to grab that? Would that be probably the easiest way?
Well, I mean, isn't it right there in your console, the genres?
Yeah.
That's what you need, right?
So if I put it down here, it should populate.
it's movie.genre, yeah, with an S. Right?
Yeah. But that
But
tends to break it.
movie.genres is going, that's what's your error? Objects are not, is that is that the thing that broke it?
Yeah.
Wrap that whole thing in a JSON string, or maybe individually do those as JSON.stringifies.
Each of these?
Because I thought movies,
or just the genre one?
Maybe just try and doing the genre one. Because it's saying that's an object. I thought it was an array.
Am I missing something off the top of my head? I don't know if that's right.
No, that looks good. Maybe what? Oh, I think the stringify you have a curly bracket, it should be parenthesis. Right?
Oh, so do a parenthesis around this.
Yeah, and you don't need to throw that in brackets. I just want to see what that looks like. Yeah. Okay, so see that's an array.
Okay, and then I could do just like name to pull the name from. No.
Well, so the movies.genre, like, you're probably going to want to do like a method, like, or here. So get rid of the stringify.
Okay.
And so this is like, you don't want all of like the date, do you want the genres in this string?
Yeah, so if I could just get the name of the genres in the string.
Because so okay, so genres is your array of objects. So you could like map over it.
Okay.
So do a dot map. Movie
So-
genres. It'd be movie genres dot map.
Inside here.
Yeah. And then go like G, call it arrow.
Does that need to be curly brackets? Is that right?
No, that's a it's, map is a function, so it's parenthesis.
Okay.
So we're mapping over these genres, which were objects. And so now just return and just get rid of the brackets because we can do this in one line. So just do, what was it? Was it G dot name?
Yeah. So just return g.name.
Yeah, and you don't need a return since it's one line. Okay. Now this is going to give us, wait, why is it? Oh, carry. So let's write all of this because this is getting messy because now it can't do this because genres is not defined. Let's do this thing in a function like this, like line 94, like get string. I don't know what you want to call it, but okay. Because what you need, or another way you could do this is like, so this is not doing it because you need like, you don't have any loading state. So like movie genres is not defined because it hasn't been loaded, right? Because when this page first mounts, you got to do the Axios call.
Yeah. So if I set a loading state, that would probably fix it.
It would, but we could fix it here. So let's just do this like if. So what I'm checking is just like if you have like a move, like if movie is defined. So like say if not movie.
So just function.
So yeah, don't return, like, so do the if statement. So get rid of the return. And do, yeah, if like not movie, like in parentheses, like, yeah, not movie. Bang.
Okay.
Exclamation. And you just do a not. Because
Oh.
let me scroll up and see your movie state. Like up all the way where you define it. Yeah, so let's just set that equal to, oh man. So yeah, set that to null on line 11. And then, yeah, okay, scroll down. Yeah, so now at line 74, you don't need the equal, it's just if not movie. And put that like right up against it. Cool. So what this is saying, hey, like since we just set that initial state to null,
Mhm.
that's like, we need to wait for that movie to load. Like we need to do the Axios call to define it. So this is the case where that's like going on. So for this, how would, or we could just say if movie, so you could get rid of that not. So this would be like it is defined. Go ahead and put in, now you can do your curly brackets. Now you can return what's in that line down at the bottom.
That one.
Yeah, 100. Like do the whole thing, like 100. Except you don't want those curly brackets wrapping the whole thing. Well, see, we're just going to return a string now. So actually, like you're going to interpolate, like this is going to be a string. So let's interpolate it. So do backticks. And now do a $ where there. And then yeah, do a $ with your money runtime. And do a $ there. Okay. And then, yeah, so now you can delete line 100 and say get string. Like you don't need any of that there. But that needs to be in curly brackets. Okay, line 76. Oh, put that return like, so you have a return and then you have a space. So you need to put that string like on the same line.
Oh, I see.
Cool. Okay, so cannot read null. Line 90. Okay. Yeah. You see what's going on? Like, so you've this is like rendering when the movie is not defined. This is going to be a kind of like a cheap way of doing a loader, but like on line 87, you could just, oh man. Let me see your, actually, let me see your return. I just want to see all of it. So scroll down. Okay, like you have, okay. So here we could use like, okay, so do it if right here. And then parentheses. So here we're going to do like a not movie.
Okay.
And then do your brackets. So this would be like return some JSX that says like loading. So return a
Okay.
paragraph, like a paragraph tag.
Cool.
But so that, yeah, so that gives you the drama, thriller, crime. That drama, thrill, crime, that's actually in an array. So. but
Okay. Cool.
Is that how you want it to, is that like, it might be hard to style that more. But does that work?
Yes.
Like, do you want a space in between the commas?
Yeah, we probably want to space it.
Okay, so what you would need to do is after that, like 75. So that, remember the dot map is giving you back in an array of strings.
Yep.
So if you want that just to be a string, you could do something like this. You could do a dot join. So we're going to call a dot join after that, after the map.
After the map.
Yeah, so it's right there, dot join. And then, so now we're going to join these arrays of strings into now we're actually converting it into a string. So now you can do
Okay.
parentheses. And then inside of here, do like the quotes. And so this is how you're going to join those arrays. So here you could do a comma space, and that will give you your space. So if you save that, there you go.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. And then I think the last thing, because I'm pulling in the crew as well. So like if I only wanted to show like 5 or so on this page, like the first 5, would that like be a pagination thing? And then like click to the full cast and crew?
Let's see, you you want to show 5. Would you want to like you could do it as a okay, so you have the I mean there's a lot of different how do you want to do it? Like, let me ask you that first.
Well, like I would just like to limit it because like if you go into the Northman per se, there's like 52 casts and like 86 crew. So I was thinking just populating a few on the page and then having like a button to go to like a show cast / crew page.
Yeah, that's I mean that's where just you I'm trying to think how so it would go to a separate page. You just want to show 5 and then have a link to go to a different page.
Yeah.
So for that you could do I mean that's where you could maybe use like a for loop.
Okay.
You know, just do for I = 0, I < 5, and then go through your state and, you know, only list 5 of them.
Because it would only grab like the ones like 0 through 4 with the I < 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I'm trying to think. Probably not
Okay.
to do it with reduce, but
Cool. For
Yeah.
loops make sense. I'm sure I can find videos to figure that out. All right. Well,
But
thank you.
you might need some. Yeah. Let me know if you have questions with that one. There's
Okay.
you can think of a couple of different ways to do it.
Okay.
Sweet.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna go check on the other group. But everyone good here?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yo, how's it going?
So
It's going good.
Recorded.
Oh, I need to